What do you think a woman's role in society should be?
To provide children.
To provide children?
Yes.
Because you see women as baby-making machines.
No, I see them as special. I see them as designed by God to have special talents that no man can ever possess. And I think that the work that women do is so important. They're disgracing themselves by having ambitions to become men.
No, they don't have ambitions to become men. They have ambitions to work hard and to see themselves in high positions, to see themselves doing better.
Which
women
high
want to.
Positions?
What do you mean? Which
the positions
high positions
created by men. So they want to be men. They want a share of that system, and they don't want to build their own system. Women cannot even choose the right fathers for their children at this day and age. Why is that? Because they've got birth control. What did birth control do? It gave men access to sex without commitment. Now women can have casual sex, casual hookups, they can fall pregnant to the wrong guys. They don't need to use any discernment.
Important that women have rights to abortion and contraceptive pills, because then if a woman is not ready to be a mother, she has the choice of not giving birth to that baby.
Thank goodness your mother didn't exercise that right.
Thank goodness that I have a choice.
So that we could have this debate today.
So answer me the question. Based on what we have had so far, do you think, based on what you have presented so far, do you think feminism is a good or bad thing?
Okay, I'll take it from what she has said and show you why it's a bad thing, right? She spoke about a gender pay gap, right? The gender pay gap is a complete lie. It's a complete fallacy. And guess who created it? No, I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Guess who created that fallacy? Feminism created that fallacy. Why did they create that fallacy, right? Because they've got nothing tangible to actually show that feminism is a good thing. Why is the gender pay gap a lie? Because the only reason that there is a gender pay gap is that the highest paid people in all of society are married men.
Men in general.
No, married men.
It's still men.
No.
11 to 25% married men have higher income wages opposed to single men. Married men, let's say, average $86,000 per year. Single men average about $49,000. So he is spitting facts.
Married men earn the most, right? Then women earn.
So in an interview or
unmarried
CV, they
men,
ask
single
you,
men
are you
earn the
married?
least. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Coming to you. I'll give you a time.
Now, she said that you should pay men and women equally. The reason why that is foolish is because women don't have the expectation to provide for families. And if you pay a man and a woman equally, right, the woman's income will benefit her. The man's income will benefit his family. How do we prove this, right? Okay, let me show you in a simple way, right? When a woman goes up in life, she seeks independence. When a man goes up in life, he seeks legacy. He wants a family.
Okay.
He wants children. He wants people that will depend on him. When a woman makes it in life, again, I will repeat so that you get my point. She wants independence.
Okay.
Anytime women use the independent term, think about it. What are you independent from in life? Usually it's going to start off when you're a child, when you become independent of your parents. And if you have an adult saying that they're independent, that's going to be from the opposite sex. And men don't never say that. It's usually women that say that they're independent of usually being with a man. I feel like that shouldn't even be a talking point in this day and age. Everybody is a grown adult. You're going to have to take care of yourself regardless. It's sad that we have to use independence to separate ourselves from the opposite gender.
You deep in your thoughts. I understand. Here's your chance.
Is feminism
a good or bad thing? Now, please, I want to emphasize, based on what have been presented so far, not what you will present.
Yeah, it's absolutely 100% a good thing. It promotes equality. It protects women against violence. It empowers people in general. So, in my opinion, feminism is a very good thing.
Do you want to add anything?
How does it protect from violence? I'm very lost on that. You being able to do the same thing as a guy can do does not protect you from violence. That means you can get equal lefts just like a guy can get it. This makes no sense.
No.
Okay, it's fine. Nota, you said quite a number of things, eh? You know what Nota says. I want you to respond to Nota. And please help me here. I want to make sense of what he said. He says that the hierarchy of things is that married men and the highest earners. Second, women. Third, single men.
Single men.
So Tell me something. Do you have a problem with this? Because for me,
I don't think-
I'll give you
okay.
the chance. Do you have a problem with this, or do you think it's a good or bad idea? You know why? Because I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, here you've got married men. That means there are people look, he's got dependency
A wife dependent on him.
Yes.
and children.
A woman.
Okay. All right. So he's got dependency. Then women. These women, Nota did not classify or did not necessarily give us details whether they are single
They're
or married.
married,
It's just
yeah.
that married men and then women and then single men. You understand? So we have the clear identity of the two, except this bracket, the women. So do you think it's a good or bad idea? He will clarify whether the ones in the middle are single or independent women or who are single or married.
I don't believe there is any company where you are being interviewed for a job. They ask you, "Are you a married man?"
Yes,
or
they do. Every company, yes.
Oh, okay, brilliant. I don't think that affects. It should affect.
That affects whether you get a job.
It
Especially
shouldn't.
if
It
you're a
shouldn't
manager,
affect
a
your pay.
CEO,
It shouldn't affect your pay. And
It does.
actually,
Okay,
as
okay,
feminists,
you
The
have-
reason why it's going to affect that person because, see, you having a family means that you have people relying on you, which means you're probably going to be reliable. That's what that means. And that's why that does matter. If you're a single guy and you just live in life and you possibly can't show anything that you can't show that you're a reliable person, you're going to be less likely to probably get the job because, why would they give it to you and they can give it to somebody who really needs the job? So I don't understand where she's coming from that.
Protected Kim.
women fight for equality so that a man does not have to be a provider, so that women can provide
That's why
for
they make
themselves.
false rape
So
charges.
women
Okay,
can
okay,
provide
okay.
for
Head of households
themselves.
can-
So they can provide for themselves and their
wait,
children.
Wait,
Yes.
And their children.
Wait, Nota. Wait, we are protected, Kim. We are on the platform to continue
Yes.
speaking until you're done.
So I was saying that if women, or the reason women are fighting for equality is so that they don't have to be dependent on a man, so that they can have their own paycheck, so that if Nota, for example, as the head of the household, says, "Baby, I'm stressed this month, this is happening, then I can say, "No, don't worry, I have your back."
Definitely, I'll ask you a question. How many women who, after having children, they can confidently say, men they want me, not just to sleep with me, but they want to marry me? How many women, in general, who, no matter their beauty, no matter their success, how many women who confidently say, I'm pretty, I've got 3, 4, 5 children, and men want me, not just to sleep with me, but to commit?
It's very few.
At least she
Okay.
honest.
Nota, you want to say something?
I don't need to say anymore.
Can I ask you a question, Nota?
Yeah.
What do you think a woman's role in society should be?
To provide children.
To provide children?
Yes.
Because you see women as baby-making machines.
No, I see them as special. I see them as designed by God to have special talents that no man can ever possess. I see them being the vessels by which new life is introduced into our society and our civilization. And I think that the work that women do is so important that they're disgracing themselves by having ambitions to become men.
No, they don't have ambitions to become men. They have ambitions to work hard and to see themselves in high positions, to see themselves doing better.
Which
Women
high
want to.
positions?
What do you mean? Which
The positions
high positions?
created by men. So they want to be men.
Even the system was
Oh,
designed by
snap.
men,
And therefore-
and you still have a problem with
They
the
want
system.
a share of that
So
system and they don't want to build their own system.
That's crazy though. If you really think about what he's saying, the system is designed by men, and women still want to compete in the system. You still fall on a man, believe it or not.
admire to change the system. Because the system is not working in anyone's favor.
Imagine if-
It's not
Kim
working
and
in
Nota,
your
right?
favor.
Kim
It's not
and
working in
Nota.
my favor.
Okay.
Kim
So then,
and Nota.
No,
Kim
I'll
and
tell you,
Nota.
there's two
Kim
things men
and
can
Nota.
change. They can change
Kim
your
and
pH
Nota.
level and they can change
Kim
your
and
cycle.
Nota.
Do
And
you
Nota.
want men to have even
Nota.
more power to change
Nota.
things for women?
Nota.
No. So why do you want women to change things for men?
Nota. Comrades, you gave us history back then. Take us fast forward before the 20th century, 21st century. I want us to cover that period before the 20th or 21st century where I believe things changed. Yeah. Well, let's cover that period, Nota. What was feminism representing then?
Well, again, it was about what were the struggle of white women at the time. So they wanted universal suffrage. I think they got that delivered to them in either 1919 or 1920, right? And then they wanted also other rights, like to be able to run businesses, own credit cards, and they got that in 1975. So funny that they got that maybe 2 years after they got the right to kill their babies before they're born, right? And then after that, feminism had won every single thing that it wanted from the beginning. Now they needed to find a new problem. And guess what that problem was? Whether they wanted to be straight or not. And that's when the LGBTQ movement came in. And now feminism ended up becoming the LGBTQ movement. And now feminism has been completely usurped because the LGBTQ movement has gone to the stage of LGBTQ. Remember, at first it was LGB when it started. And now that it's completely usurped feminism, it is now the LGBTQ movement where men are fighting for the right to be called women.
Yeah, you can just see the progressive change and transformation of the movement, like how it started from the very beginning for, the simplicity of, you could say, feminism. Now it's a more aggressive, advanced form of it to where you got men now participating in it just to be called the opposite of what they actually are. Everything's just become chaotic now if you really pay attention to what's going on.
Okay. All right. What was feminism representing just before 20 to the 21st century, up to the 21st century, because I think he has entered the 21st century. So take us from there and then let's move into the 21st century.
Historically, feminism was for fighting for legal rights, and it was also fighting for women's suffrage and workplace rights. And throughout the years, we've had women fight for reproductive rights. What do I mean by that? He touched that women now have the right to kill their babies. Not killing their babies, by the way. Women now have rights to their own bodies, which they didn't have. Women now have rights to contraceptives. Women have rights to abortion. Why is it so
That's what it is. What are we talking about?
important that women have rights to abortion and contraceptive pills? Because then if a woman is not ready to be a mother, or a woman is not ready to give birth to a baby, she has the choice of not giving birth to that baby. So throughout the years, feminism has been protecting women and women's rights and women's bodies.
Okay. So
thank goodness your mother didn't exercise that right.
Thank goodness that I have a choice.
So that we could have this debate today.
Thank God that I have the...
But that's a compliment, though. That's a compliment.
Thank goodness your mother didn't exercise that right.
Thank goodness that I have a choice.
So that we could have this debate today.
Thank God that I have the...
I'm just saying. But that's a compliment, though.
That's real, because your mama possibly could have trash canned you possibly, so he has a point.
Oh, that's a compliment, though. All right.
I'll take it.
All right. The funny part about the debate is that, we can fight, but we're not necessarily fighting. But we're fighting. It's a debate at the end of the day. Tell me something here. So, 21st century, what are we representing?
21st century, feminism has just become a broad movement. It has online activism, and we have movements like the Me Too movement. We have women now fighting for literally anything they want to fight for. And I'm actually against the 21st century feminism, because it represents...
Been taken over by the trannies.
It represents the concept of feminism very wrong, because now it's a we hate men movement, and that's not a movement that smart women should be involved in. Why would you hate men? Because men have to marry you, and you have to be happy with men. So what feminism has become today is totally something that I don't agree with. And I wish that we had strong feminists and strong leaders who fight for the actual feminism.
Yeah, I know feminism.
No, that's exactly what it is. Y'all want to be independent of men. Like you don't want to have to be up under a guy's control, his leadership. You want to be able to do things on your own, and you want to just have a guy because you want one, opposed to actually needing one. You feel like you don't need a guy for survival. Y'all don't rely on guys and feel like guys actually build society. You look at guys as the equal, and I'm just being honest, we're not equal. Everybody has their pros and their cons, and we have to understand that, and we have to somehow apply that balance into our life so we can actually thrive together.
It's failing. Let me tell you something about feminism. There's something that feminism does not coincide with: Zulu genes. She's got too many Zulu genes. I can see that the mother's genes are trying there with their feminism, but the Zulu genes are fighting back, saying, "No, God, no." Zulu women, you can always trust them.
Get it?
I do get it, but
I get where you're coming from, and I don't have a problem with you, with what you've just said now. I'm saying the other side. The moment you say we're equal, ngalesa spirit, I'll be like, oh, okay, it's fine. Makufika abantu bakushaya, ngizokubuka bakushaya. Angithi you are equal
Take
to
it like
them.
a man.
We are equal.
I think society promotes toxic feminism as much as they promote misogyny. And I think that if women would actually be honest, 100% honest about things, because we have women who come to the workplace who are CEOs and they want to make themselves look very strong to black women or to young black women and say, oh yeah, I'm so strong. I carry my household. And if they're happy, they don't carry their households. Women get to be CEOs of companies and they still have to go back to their husbands and be submissive because that's how you keep a happy household. Men do have a superior role in society to play, and I don't think that should be taken away from men. I don't think men should be stripped of their role of being providers and protectors. The only reason that feminism should be considered and should continue is because women need to be protected more because of their vulnerability according to biology.
Hold on, so you want to be protected more for biology, but then you want to still be thrown out there more so you can participate just like men. That makes no goddamn sense. And what she's saying about the women can be CEOs, for sure, man, y'all have y'all careers, y'all do what y'all need to do, but are you capable of it? And can you sustain it? Can you go and work 12 hours, 14, 15 possible hours as a CEO and then come home and still, like you said, turn it off and be submissive and cook dinner and cater to your man and rub his feet in his back after you just did all those hours and he did them too? Something got to give. I don't think they understand the balance and the sacrifice, what it takes to actually do both of those things. And I think that's what we got to give men their flowers when it comes down to working all these hours and coming home and still having to be a father and a husband. Guys still got to participate in the household and clean or whatnot. Women think that they're the only ones doing household chores. No, guys are definitely piggybacking and they're helping keeping the household clean while working those hours. We just built different.
Bayakalak my comment, but she's not representing the other side very well. Uyabona manje uyamuzwa uthini?
No,
according to
I
others,
completely disagree with everything she said.
Lalela. According to others, but udakiwe ngazi yini lo mphuzisi wona wadanga ngoba lento ayikhulumayo ngathi according to abanye.
No.
They don't want to hear the truth.
I completely disagree. There's no such thing as toxic femininity.
Okay.
Because that is tautology. That is when you say a word that means the same thing as another word and you use both the words. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like saying very, very. You already said very once.
So you're trying to say feminism on its own is just toxic?
It's the same thing. It's, you know what I mean?
To you, according to you.
Toxicity and feminism is the same thing.
No, it's not.
There's femininity, right? Then there's feminism, right? Feminism and toxicity is the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
Masculinity and femininity are the two things that are on the opposite, right?
I see what you mean.
Misogyny.
That's why we can have toxic masculinity.
There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. There's misogyny, right? Then there's masculinity, being a man. Then there's femininity. Then there's feminism, which is the same thing as misogyny. So the other word for feminism, or the opposite of misogyny, is misandry. So there's a misandrist movement and there's a misogynist movement, right? And in the middle, there are two complementary movements, that of masculinity and that of femininity. Now, femininity means submitting. If your husband is voting, let's say your husband is voting for IFP, why do you need to go to the voting poll, Yom Piggies?
Because you have a choice.
Why do you need a choice if you are submitting?
So you think women don't deserve to have choices?
Okay, cool.
I'll come back to
wait.
you.
That was one question. I want to go on to the next part of the same question, right? Now, if we look at societal outcomes, right? Women have got the higher stress level that they've ever had in all of humanity. From the time that they were slaves, from the time that they were being beaten and it wasn't a crime, for the time where, they were kept in breeding camps, during slavery, they kept women in breeding camps. They used to breed them and all that type of stuff, right? Women are more stressed now. They've got more cortisol in their blood.
That's crazy.
Than ever before. And this is tested because they test the skulls of women, right? And inside the skulls, you can see the remnants of what was inside the brain. And in the brain, you can see what hormones, what was happening mentally with women. So women are more mentally distressed now that they are going to the workplace, that they're in offices, that they're having to deal with workplace stress, than at the time where their husbands dealt with all that stress.
I believe that to be true. I'm just being honest. They had less to think about, less to worry about. Now you're a functioning adult. You got to move just like a guy got to move. So if that rent ain't paid, your ass is out. If you don't have money for food, you're gonna starve. And then if you don't have a good family structure, you really solo dolo. So I do believe that women are highly stressed today, whether they want to say it or not.
Right? That is the thing. Now, the other thing is that male suicides are also at their highest. Marriages at the highest failure rate. With women having more agency, more rights, everything else in society that we saw as good and wholesome, right, as part of our conservative values, is disintegrating. And why is it disintegrating? Because more and more women are making decisions. Now, women cannot even choose the right fathers for their children at this day and age. Why is that? Because they've got birth control. What did birth control do? It gave men access to sex without commitment. Because in the past, they didn't have birth control, right? And that's in the past where you still had to wait 6 months before a woman said yes to you sleeping with her.
Oh, he cooking.
That's how long you'd have to wait to sleep with her, because she needed to know that you're going to marry her or something. You know what I mean? Or maybe she'd make you even wait a year and wait until you commit and say you're going to marry her. Now women can have casual sex, casual hookups, they can fall pregnant to the wrong guys. They don't need to use any discernment. So now that they're using less discernment, or now that there's less consequences for not having discernment, they're completely abandoning discernment altogether. You're seeing that by the fact that their marriages do not last. They make the wrong choices when it comes to making long-term decisions. They don't choose the right things. They're easily manipulatable. They're emotionally motivated as well. So those are all the things that disqualify women from making sound, logical, reasoned decisions that can help us progress as a society. Another thing about women is that women are selfish. Women always advocate for things that will benefit them and them alone. The spin-off benefits are not actually benefits. The mere fact that men have got more easy access to sex is bad. It's not a benefit for men.
Facts.
The mere fact that more men are being given sex, it's a bad thing for men to get sex that they do not deserve. You have to earn sex.
But that's
You have to earn the right to sleep with a woman back in the past. Sometimes you have to kill people. You have to go to war and come back sound. You understand what I'm saying?
It's a
Women definitely control the sexual market, man. That's why when I hear women say, like, no, it needs to be men control themselves. The guys need to do this. Ma'am, y'all as a collective, if y'all don't want to have sex, men are definitely folded and trying to figure out why, just being honest, because it'd be genocide for men to do the opposite of what y'all say men mainly do. So men definitely conform to what y'all actually want, but y'all don't look at it like that. And since you want the liberation, you get the freedom to do whatever you want to do, you get to open them legs up, guess what? You're going to be picking certain types of guys, and them guys just going to play around. All guys ain't even worthy to be cracking like that. All guys not supposed to be able to enter. No matter if they look like gold, it might not be actual gold. It might glitter, but it's not gold. So that's how you got to have more, like you said, discernment.
So all of those things have now fallen away. So men don't have to rise up to the same level that they needed to rise up to be inspiring to women in the past. Now any Tom, Dick, and Harry is slanging it around. You know what I mean? Making babies randomly, not committing. The standards have been dropped for men. And therefore, men are sinking to their training, because you never rise to the occasion. You always sink to your training.
That is
and
true.
the training that we've been given is that there are no consequences and people can abort children if they want to. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, he said something pretty well right there. I think I'm probably going to leave it right there. But what he said is that men don't usually rise to the occasion. I kind of disagree with that, because if you put in certain situations, you will rise. You have to learn. You have to figure out. It's going to be trials and tribulations for sure with it. But usually you definitely have guys that have the ability to rise to the occasion. But usually if a guy's given the easier way out, he definitely going to take it when it comes down to sex as well. It's just going to boil down to what women are choosing, man, because you still got a lot of great guys out there that are still worthy of being chose, but even those guys don't get chose because it's the way how the selection part has gone. Only the guys who are making the women fancy jump, when they see them from a distance, that thing just start pulsating. Those are the guys that's actually getting those are the guys that are actually getting full-on access, opposed to the guys who are great guys on paper, will make great candidates. Those guys are getting overlooked and overchosen, because now we are glorifying, we putting certain things at the forefront that probably shouldn't be, man. There's certain things in society that we glorify that man, when we really get a basis on what life is really built on, man, bro, I think we'll have a real wake up call. You know, so this world's so artificial, and even just the whole thing of how feminism has like grown so much. And like I said, I don't have a problem with the woman working or doing anything like that. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think everybody has to do something. I don't want nobody that's just lazy. But if you look at even the roles of where men and women have had to be amplified, it's because of capitalism. It's because of the form of the way how the world is ran based on capitalism, to why everybody has to move like they got a battery in their back. You know, and I think, you know, you're definitely going to have to, you know, do something regardless whether you're in this system or not. But it's the thing of, to where some people who just can't figure it out, they blame it, and then they make bad decisions while being in it, and they never actually autocorrect for it. So, you know, everything's about choice. The person that you pick, to, you know, the deciding factor on, you know, whether you go into schooling, whether you just go into a trade, whether you have kids, what time period you have kids, everything is about choice. And I'll tell you this, everything is a gamble too. There's no guarantee that any specific thing is going to happen. You can try and follow a path, and you could try and put your eggs in certain baskets to maybe, you know, you could possibly plant certain seeds, but there's no guarantee. It's a risk involved with everything, but it has to be a risk that you're willing to take, because that's what life is. That's what life is about. But I thought this was a great debate though, man. I want to get y'all thoughts on this. Y'all make sure y'all like the video, comment, make sure y'all hype the video for sure. I definitely appreciate that. This brother cooked her with a smile on his face. This man was smiling the whole time. Every ending point when his energy was amazing, man. He had a very happy, infectious energy. And I just appreciate the way how he cooked while being respectful and while being very knowledgeable. This is a fire debate. I'm not even gonna lie. Make sure y'all like the video, comment below. I have a link in the description so y'all can watch it in its entirety. This is JayBReacts. Until next time, y'all. Peace.